All right, here's a response to Carlos Oswita's thread from Brian Cates at Draw and Strike. Every morning I get up and check the polls, showing Biden leading Trump in the battleground states, and I laugh my ass off. Biden versus Trump equals a slaughter. Biden can't even put together a coherent sentence right now. Aha! But Biden plus Michelle Obama? That's when Trump is doomed. See, that's where they have Trump right where they want him. That's how they turn him into a helpless victim whose fate is sealed. And I proved this with geometric logic that Trump the dunce, the political neophyte, the guy who got where he is by sheer dumb luck, is doomed. Well, hold up just a minute there, Captain Queeg, with your geometric logic and all. Let's examine this fun narrative that Donald J. Trump must be reduced to helpless tears in the face of the mighty, unstoppable Michelle Obama. You've just had 3.5 years of watching Donald J. Trump prove to rational people that he is nothing like anything these swamp denizens have ever dealt with before. Time and again they think they have him, and whoops, how'd he get away again? Why, it must be luck. And here you come, again, with the same fear porn that you've been peddling since 2017. Fear porn based on 3 absurd presumptions on your part. 1. You are smarter than this president. 2. You understand his situation better than he does. 3. He's going to do the wrong things. Well, pardon me and your stupid geometric logic, Captain Queeg, but how about you go fuck yourself? Every single one of your 3 absurd presumptions only show me how much of a brain-dead moron trapped in the past you are. Let's deal with your first absurd presumption, that you're smarter than Donald J. Trump. Narratives that boil down to the incredibly lucky Trump dodges his 30-second bullet since he became president. Because, hey, it's got to be luck, because he never seems to take your advice, have been increasingly absurd for the past 2 years, yet here you are offering it again. How about Trump doesn't take advice shouted to him from the public gallery by morons like Captain Queeg because, get this, it's stupid advice from dumb morons who don't really understand what's going on in the first place. Despite the fact Trump never does what the horde of loud TV pundits and bloggers of the conservative media are constantly ranting for him to do. He's now poised for overwhelming victory in his re-election bid, even after a black swan event emerged that should have crippled him. If it hasn't dawned on you by now that this is not luck, after 3.5 years in office, yeah, you've got that idea. It's sheer dumb lucky luck. So deeply entrenched in your brain, you'll never unbrainwash yourself. You'll never accept that this guy is smarter than you are. Pundits and bloggers constantly shrieking endless advice that this president, that he never takes, assume Trump needs to be told what to do by people smarter than he is. That's them, apparently. Ever notice I never try to give Trump advice? Do you know why? Because I recognize my limitations and I know how to stay in my lane. None of these pundits constantly lecturing Trump on what he needs to do have 1/10 the education, life experience, and street smarts of this president who spent 40 years preparing for his time in office. So, Captain Queeg, I completely, without reservation, reject your first absurd premise that you are smarter than Donald J. Trump. On to your second absurd premise that you think you understand his situation better than he does. No, Captain Queeg, you do not understand Trump's situation better than he does. You didn't understand it through the entire Mueller investigation, where you constantly screamed at him to fire Mueller, fire Rosenstein, fire Sessions, fire everybody, fire all the things. And when President Trump didn't take your dumb advice, you explained this was because he's some kind of impotent boob. So completely boxed in by the deep state or whatever that he can't save himself. So what was your explanation for what Mueller ended up doing? Boy, President Trump sure was lucky that despite the fact he never took my sage advice, the Mueller special counsel inadvertently ended up pulling back the curtain and showing the entire country that Russiagate was a massive hoax based on no real evidence. Sure, Jan. Pay attention, you dumbass Captain Queegs out there. Luck had nothing to do with the Mueller special counsel completely exposing the Russiagate hoax and leading directly to the Horowitz-FISA abuse revelations and directly to Durham's criminal investigation of how Russiagate started. Luck had nothing to do with setting up where we are now, waiting for Durham to drop the hammer on the Spygate plotters now that Trump and McConnell have flipped enough courts. Good thing Trump didn't listen to you back in 2017 and 2018, eh? All during this black swan pandemic event, you've been telling everybody that still listens to you that Trump still can't spot traitors at his own elbow. You've spent weeks shrieking he needs to fire Fauci, fire Birx, fire everyone. Ah! How absolutely pathetic. When you start with telling yourself the lie that you are smarter than Trump, and then build on that foundation by telling yourself another lie that you understand his situation better than he does, you end up in left field, explaining why he can't do the right thing. Well, since Trump's not taking my awesome advice on Situation X, even though I am smarter than him and I understand Situation X better than he does, I am forced to conclude, is one of the dumbest fucking trains of thought I've ever encountered. I'm smarter than this president. I'm better informed than he is, and I understand far better than he does what he needs to be doing right now. Idiots. On my conservative TV programs, conservative radio shows, and on multiple conservative websites, babble all day long. And the longer a situation goes on, and Trump doesn't listen to his babbling horde of conservative pundits and bloggers, they start to get mad. And they start trying to explain why he's not taking their awesome advice. I'm over here watching this unfold like, okay. So to all the babbling, moronic Captain Queegs out there, I reject your second absurd premise as well as your first. You're not smarter than Trump, and you certainly aren't better informed than he is or understand his situation better than he does. Adopting stupid presumption number one that you are smarter than this president, then building on that wrong foundation with stupid presumption number two that you are better informed than he is and understand his situation better than he does, inevitably leads to dumbass presumption number three. Here's why Trump is going about this all wrong. I watch people babble all day long like they know what they're talking about. Take the morons right now who've spent weeks claiming this virus wasn't a real crisis, it was all faked, the whole worldwide pandemic is a hoax. According to experts on my TV and their YouTube channels and on their websites, Trump has completely bungled this CCP virus pandemic from A to Z, getting duped or going along with a massive hoax. What are they telling you? I'd have totally handled this far better than Trump. I watch conservative pundits babble this nonsense all day long. Same people who babbled all during the Russiagate thing, the Mueller special counsel, Ukrainegate, the impeachment hearings, that Trump was going about this all wrong. They'd be handling it better. They haven't learned a damn thing from watching this president in action for the past 3.5 years. They still think they're smarter than him. They still think they understand his situation better than he does and are better informed than he is. So, of course, they inevitably end up endlessly whining about how Trump is doing this all wrong. It's tiresome. How can people who think they're smart actually be this dense? So, here they come now with this fun new talking point. If Biden picks Michelle, it's over for Trump. He'll have no answer to it. The vote fraud thing, Trump's completely blind to it. Have a plan? He has no plan. He's completely blind to this. What's that based on again? One, I'm smarter than Trump. I see Michelle coming. Dumbass Trump does not. Two, even if dumbass Trump does see Michelle coming, he doesn't understand what it means as well as I do. And three, Trump won't do the right things to fend off Michelle and Biden winning this election. The fact I even have to go in depth like this to explain how these three presumptions by conservative pundits are all utterly stupid is kind of depressing. But I am here to help, so I do it. The Trump is too stupid to know what to do to win the 2020 election after he pulled off that dumb lucky miracle to win in 2016 is probably one of the dumbest narratives I have ever encountered. I shall therefore have absolutely no mercy towards it or anybody who pimps it. If you are telling yourself the guy who beat Hillary in 2016 when she literally had every advantage over him, and all he had was secret campaign strategist Jared Kushner and Brad Parscale down in San Antonio, is about to lose to Dementia Joe and Moo Shell, I want you to do this. I want you to go find a mirror. I want you to take two pieces of bread and press them firmly to the sides of your head. Then I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and yell this. What am I? I am an idiot sandwich. Am I making myself clear? I'm a brilliant communicator, so I hope I'm making myself clear. I completely reject all three of your absurd presumptions. All you babbling Captain Queeks can kiss my ass. Addendum. From some of the comments, it appears some don't know what happened yesterday. Biden said he'd take Michelle Obama as his VP in a heartbeat. This immediately caused a furor among those who've claimed for months there's a master plan to replace a Biden with Michelle. Very probably true. They intend to replace Biden with some other unfortunate soul at the DNC convention in Milwaukee this August. This is assuming Biden lasts to the convention, which isn't a given. Biden's at the point even constantly peering down notes doesn't help. So yes, I agree there is a high probability they draft somebody to start out as Biden's VP pick who will then replace him at the top of the ticket by Election Day. So where are these pundits going wrong? They discuss this like it is some kind of Machiavellian master plan long in the works rather than a desperate, about to go under, death rattle move from a party bleeding out from all the fatal wounds it's inflicted on itself trying to destroy an indestructible president. They discuss like there's no way dumbass Trump could see this coming, and even if he does, dumbass Trump has no practical answer to it. Then they launch into diatribes about how dumbass Trump is completely blind to vote fraud. He's got no plan, you see. It's about your attention. It's about clicks. It's about views. And it's about eyeballs. Eventually, the smarter among you will discern the narratives these pundits and commentators adopt in any given situation is the sensational one, the one that benefits them the most. They need your fear.